Okay, so let's go through the 2019 end of the year, question 11 words. So let's start. Which step of the scientific method is indicated in the diagram? For bread, the toaster won't toast. So if you look at it, is it asking a question? This is obviously not a question. So nope. Is he performing an experiment? Nope. Is he forming a hypothesis? Okay, there was no question to answer. Nope. So therefore the answer is making an observation. So when he put the bread in, the bread came out as a raw bread. So this was an observation that he has made. Now next one, question 12. Which of the following is the correct procedure for separating a mixture of rice grains and sugar? So the key idea here, this is insoluble in water. That means you can't dissolve rice in water. Sugar is soluble. So every time when you need to do separation, you must ask yourself what is the distinct difference in terms of its physical properties. So because I know that the rice grain is insoluble, so if I can dissolve the sugar, so first thing obviously I will do dissolution or dissolving. So B and C is out. Now after dissolving, what I'm going to get is that I'm going to have rice grains over here, and then I'm going to have sugar solution. Okay, now if I do crystallization now, I'm going to get the sugar. Okay, then why do I heat and filter? I think this part here is the dubious one. So actually the first step you should be doing, you filter first, because you can get rid of the ice grain immediately. Okay, once you get rid of the rice grain immediately, you heat and crystallize. This will actually be the way to go about doing it. Okay, now so we always try to get rid of the simpler one first. In this case, it will be the rice grain because it is an insoluble substance. Okay, so when we filter, when you do your filtration, you're going to get sugar solution, which we know this as the filtrate. Okay, so after filtration, the liquid is actually the filtrate. Then on the top here, we actually got our rice grain. So this is actually the residue. So just take note of it. Okay, next. Question 13. The table below shows the properties of 4 elements A, B, C, and D. Which element is most likely to be a metal? So metal, we know in terms of the density should be quite high density. Okay, because the metal generally will sink in water, sorry. In terms of the melting point will be high melting point. Okay, because all this is under your element compound mixture in terms of the properties of metal. In terms of thermal conductivity, metals are good conductors. So therefore, the only possible answer is, if you strike out all this, the answer is D. Okay. So somebody say, sure, why not melting point 2500? Density is also quite higher. But take note, you can see here, poor thermal conductor. So therefore, B cannot be the answer. Next, question 14. So the diagram below shows a setup used to separate ethanol and water. This is actually known as fractional distillation. Okay. Now, they say the boiling point of ethanol is 78, the water is 100. So this is actually a two miscible liquid. Okay, so this is actually what we call a miscible liquid mixture. Okay, so to separate this, generally we use fractional distillation. So what's the purpose of the condenser? So the condenser actually is ready to cool down the hot ethanol vapor, condense it, okay, so that you can get liquid ethanol. So it's not just really to cool it down, but to cool it down until it becomes a liquid. Okay, so therefore that's the purpose of the condenser. Next, question 15. After separation of a mixture, so mixture actually is to separate a mixture, we'll typically use a physical process. Okay, the components obtained are definitely will be chemically unchanged, so B and D is out because I use a physical process to change it only, to separate them. Okay, so that's why it is not chemically changed, should be chemically unchanged. Okay, as the substances are physically combined. So answer would be A. So for mixture, you're actually just mixing them. It's a physical combination, it's not a chemical. When we talk about chemically combined, means that they are bonded, okay, joined together by bond. Okay, where you're going to learn bonding in Sect 2, you're going to learn a little bit more in details. But in general, okay, you'll learn that answer will be A because they are chemically unchanged. And for you to use a physical process to separate them, they must only be physically combined. If they're chemically combined, you cannot use a physical process. Okay, so just take note of this, Okay. Next, which of the following apparatus is most suitable for accurately measuring 23.00 cm cube of water? So, because there's 2 dp over here, and we are looking at the volume of a liquid, okay, volume of a liquid, so therefore the answer will be A. So 2 dp and plus volume of a liquid, 2 dp in cm cube, okay, and you're measuring volume of a liquid, typically we'll use a burette. Okay, so just take note of that. For pipette, generally it will always be 1 dp, and the reading should be in multiples of 5. What do I mean multiples of 5? Example, 5.0 cm cube, okay, 10.0 cm cube. These are the type of reading you're going to get. So 15.0 cm cube, blah 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 blah. You can see here multiples of 5 and 1 dp. Next, question 17. CuSO4.5H2O is a blue color crystal used in the agricultural industry as a fertilizer. Okay, which of the following is correct about the blue crystals? Now, so take note, CuSO4.5H2O. This .5H2O tells you that there's 5 H2O. Okay, so which of the following is correct about crystal? Let's find the elements present first. So I got copper, so Cu. I got S. I got O. I got H. I got O again. So O is repeated, so I'm not going to write. So therefore, I only got these 5 formulas present. So Cu is actually not carbon. Cu is actually copper. So the elements A and B is out because it is not carbon. Next, how many atoms do I have? Okay, if you look carefully, there's actually more than 4 atoms because why? I got Cu, 1 Cu, I got 1 S, I already got 4 O, so there's actually 6 atoms just purely based on this. 6 atoms already. Okay, now can you see there's 5 H2O? So H2O is made out of 2 H and 1 O, so total 3 atoms. But I got 5 times of this whole thing, so I need to take 5 multiplied by 3, therefore actually I got 15 atoms. So what's the total number of atoms? CuSO4, 6 atoms. 5 H2O is 15 atoms. So if you add them up, you actually get 21 atoms. So therefore answer is D. Next, which of the following description was found on a bottle of a chemical without any label? So they say it is toxic in small doses, so I definitely will need this skull over here. Okay, so A and B is out. Keep the bottle away from naked flame, so that means this means flammable. Okay, so answer actually is C. Why not this? This is actually means explosive. Okay, so it is not keep the bottle away from naked flame, but really to take note, this is actually the explosive sign. Okay, so being able to get caught on flame and being explosive is slightly different, so take note of it. What are the particles present in the nucleus of sodium 1123? So when you have sodium 1123, take note, the top number here is called the nucleon number. This actually tells you number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus. That's why it's called nucleon. 11 here is called the proton number. Okay, so we have proton number. So because it's called the proton number, obviously it tells you number of protons. So how many protons does it have? 11. So therefore I know that this is out. Okay, this is out so far. So I know that in terms of proton, there's 11. Now because this is an atom, right? So number of electrons will also be the same. So P will be equals to E. Because why? Electrically neutral. P must be equals to E. Last one to find neutron. Can you see nucleon is 23? So proton plus neutron is 23. Proton is 11. So to find neutron is actually taking the 23 minus 11. So there's 12 neutrons. So therefore, the answer will be A. Okay, because answer is A. Now, because why the question is asking you nucleus, so therefore I also cannot talk about electrons at all, because electrons are not in the nucleus. Okay, an atom consists of a middle nucleus, which contains the protons and neutrons. Then outside of the nucleus, you actually have electrons that's orbiting around the nucleus. Therefore, because of the term nucleus of the sodium atom, therefore it should be protons and neutrons only. Electrons not included. Next, question 20. In the Haber process, nitrogen and hydrogen react to form ammonia. Which set of diagram represents the molecules of nitrogen, hydrogen, and ammonia? Now, so this one is the one that's slightly tricky. Nitrogen and hydrogen, okay, they actually do not exist as atoms. Okay, they actually are diatomic molecules. Means when they are alone, they will actually bond to themselves. They actually form in pairs. So because of that, this is out, this is out, this is out, this is out. So A and C are definitely out. How do you know which are diatomic molecules? It's actually the H7 elements. What are the H7 elements? You look at periodic table, okay, it is hydrogen. Then go to element number 7, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Fluorine belongs to group 7. You go all the way down, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. So you can see it's H plus 7 other elements, starting from element number 7, going down all the way group 7. So these are the H7 elements, and they all exist as diatomic molecules. So take note of this. So therefore, I'm left with B and D. So what's the correct formula over here? Okay, so you can see ammonia is NH3. So it should be a dark circle in the middle with 3 smaller circles at the side. So therefore, you can see this is, what is this? This is NH4. This is not ammonia. Okay, so this is wrong. Okay, wrong. Therefore, the answer is here, B. Okay, so that's all for the end of year chem questions, question 11 to 20 for the chemistry section.